These conversations prevent miscalculations, and they ensure the competition between our two countries will not veer into conflict.
The President Biden, that is all around the world following his meeting with President Xi of China in Peru. He is making his final rounds on the international stage with a historic visit to Brazil's Amazon rainforest today, ahead of his last appearance at the G20 summit. Do you know that that is where no U.S. president has ever gone before, the Amazon rainforest? Quick trivia for you. I thought you'd want to know. You know, it's interesting. He's making this visit to Brazil. It's one of his last stops. He's been talking about global warming and the effects of climate change. And he's set to turn, of course, over power to President-elect Trump, who has promised to scrap measures to fight climate change, according to a lot of media reporting. NewsNation's Jackie Coppell joining me live right now. Jackie, tell us more about today's historic visit and what else is on the president's agenda in Brazil.
Well, good evening. So today, President Biden designated the day as International Conservation Day. And he said that climate change and the fight against climate change is one of the defining principles of his presidency. He said that climate change is an existential threat to all people. And that is why he is so motivated, because this issue, he said, affects Americans just as much as it does everyone else around the world. He talked about conservation efforts in the United States, and he also announced financial commitments to combat climate change and deforestation, including a commitment to mobilize hundreds of millions of dollars in partnership with a Brazilian company to reforest the Amazon. He talked about how much is being torn down every minute. He also added an additional $50 million to the Amazon fund. And let's take a listen to Biden himself talking about all this.
We don't have to choose between the environment and the economy. We can do both. We've proven it back home. It's no secret that I'm leaving office in January. I will leave my successor and my country in a strong foundation to build on if they choose to do so. It's true, some may seek to deny or delay the clean energy revolution that's underway in America. But nobody can reverse it.
A senior Biden official actually said that they hope that Donald Trump will come down, see the devastation wrought by climate change, and perhaps change his mind on climate change. This is all related to commitments that the Biden administration has made, and this administration official was responding to questions as to whether or not Donald Trump will continue those commitments. Now, Biden is on his way to Rio for the G20 summit, which is a gathering of over 20 of the largest economies in the world. They're going to discuss, well, the economy, including trade, climate change, health, agriculture, and more. Adrienne?
All right. Thank you very much, Jackie. I have one question for you, though. President Biden also lifting restrictions on Ukraine's ability to use long-range missiles against Russia. First, what kind of message does that send to Ukraine, and what kind of impact could it have on the war there?
Well, Ukraine and its allies really hope that it has a significant impact. In fact, Ukraine has been asking for these long-range missiles for quite some time. Now, the reports that Biden has approved these missiles means that Ukraine could strike military targets inside of Russia. Biden, up until now, has been hesitant to approve the use of these missiles because he didn't want the U.S. and even NATO to be pulled into a direct conflict with Russia. But according to reports, two things in particular have influenced Biden's decision. The first is that North Korea has sent thousands of troops to Russia to fight against Ukraine. And the second is that Donald Trump will be president in just over 2 months. And he has indicated that he might be willing to push Ukraine to give up some land to Russia to end the war that Russia first started when Russia invaded Ukraine.
Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.